Hello friends, welcome back, and hello springtime. At least I'm ready for spring. How about you? So it's been actually pretty snowy here this last week and pretty cold, but I don't care. I'm going to be adding spring here today. Little bits. I'm not going to go crazy yet. I kind of want to go with the less is more feel. I've been decluttering my house, and since our remodel, I just want less, and I just feel like it looks more elegant and it calls attention to each piece as fresh and new and beautiful in its own space. So I hope that makes sense. So I have started with one of the willow wreaths at the Dollar Tree and a couple of sprigs of their ferns, and I've taken them off of their stem and I'm just gluing them on individually where I want. I'm kind of focusing on the bottom of the wreath and placing them to where each one is got its own purpose, I guess. And yeah, I kind of want to, I want one side to go up just a little bit higher than the other side. I'm weird like that. That's just how it looks good to me in my mind. So I'm placing each one, and some of them I'm cutting the bottom tip off because I don't want to see where it attached to the stem. And I'm layering them by the depth of color in them. So I want to see them individually, and like I said, I want each one to have a purpose. So once I've gotten all of my wreaths or my fern pieces down, then I'm going to start adding some flowers. Okay, so the flowers that I've chosen kind of look like a miniature daffodil type flower. I didn't happen to look at the tag to see what the name of it was. Sometimes Dollar Tree's flowers don't look like what they're supposed to, but they're still pretty. And they've got beautiful flowers there this year. But I wanted white. I wanted something a little bit more simple. And so again, I've removed them from the stem and taken them off individually, including their leaves. And they come off completely individual and per leaf. So I'm actually gluing the leaves together in groups of 3s and gluing them on mixed in with the ferns. I wanted my mix of greenery, and I didn't want them to be completely standing out, but I wanted a little bit of that side that I wanted to come up a little bit higher. I'm going to focus on that side a little bit more and kind of soften it. It looks a little bit more feathery with these leaves added, but I do make sure that they're spread out so they look equal on the wreath. And then I'm going to go ahead and start adding my flowers individually. And yeah, I just want them spread out. This way I can put them exactly where I want them and glue them down. So I should mention that I got 2 of this type of flower, 2 bunches, and I didn't use all the leaves and I didn't use all the flowers. I saved like 3 or 4 little groups because when you pull them off the stem, they're kind of grouped together in little bunches, I guess. And so I didn't put all of them on. I saved a few out. And yeah, I kind of went up on that one side a little bit higher than the other side. And of course, kind of pulled off my hot glue spider webs as I went. Otherwise, they get in there and it just feels like I don't know if anybody else has that problem, but I find it easier to pull them off as I go. So next I'm going to add this purple flower that I'm pretty sure I got this one at the Dollar Tree because I had bought some white ones there as well and used them in a different arrangement. And I'm trying to think of the name of it. I did not look at the tag. But I'm pretty sure I got these at the Dollar Tree. I really honestly don't buy flowers like this anywhere else unless I'm at Michael's. And I don't remember buying these at Michael's. So yeah, I'm just gonna glue them in there, and I'm kind of weaving them in with the white flowers so they look as if they've grown together. I don't know if that makes sense, but I wanted them kind of weaved within so they weren't just laying right on top of the white flowers. And of course, I used a couple of the leaves that came from those purple flowers and added them in there. And I pulled off 2 of the purple flowers, just like 2 of the individual flowers, and hot glued them up that one side just to give it a little bit more height on that one side. And the couple of flowers that I saved out of the white ones, I'm going to go ahead and add those more so they look layered, I guess. I just felt like it looked better to add a few more white ones on top. And even though they've been weaved throughout within each other, I wanted to add a few more white ones on top. I'm not usually big on purple, but I'm really happy with how this looks. So I got this sign at the Dollar Tree last year. I have seen them again this year. So I just took that middle piece out and set it aside. Had some purple ribbon, you could use any color, and made a plain bow and set that aside. And I used some of these fairy lights from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to use the end of that wire fairy light to attach my piece of a sign, if that makes sense. I just poked it through that hole and wrapped it around the top of the wreath, and then weaved the lights throughout my flowers and made sure that that battery pack was on the back side of it. And I'm just going to use some floral wire, which I also got at the Dollar Tree, just to attach that battery pack and make sure that it doesn't move around and it's just attached firmly to the back. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to hot glue my bow to the top of the wreath, and I'm grabbing some white tulle that I got in the wedding section at the Dollar Tree, and I'm just gonna glue a little bit underneath the bow on the top, and I want to zigzag it across the entire wreath from one side to the other of the flowers, but I don't want it tight. I want it real loose and flowy, and just kind of softens up the flowers and the lights. So once I get that done, then I'm just going to add a little bit of that floral wire to the top so I can hang it, and I'm going to hang it on my door. I love it. I think it's perfect for springtime. This is also the time of year that I'm going to change out my bedding, and by that I mean the colors. Spring and summer, I love to do all white bedding. It just feels so fresh and clean and airy, and I just love how light it makes it feel in my room. So not only the bedding will I change, but because I have a canopy bed and have curtains, I will switch out my heavy winter curtains for white sheers, and it just makes everything so airy. Like I said, there's nothing more relaxing than on a warm day and you open the windows and you get a nice breeze blowing through. Just watching shears blow in the breeze, it's just so relaxing. So I will also choose a scent that I will use throughout summer until fall. So normally I'll choose a scent that's very clean smelling, but I was at the grocery outlet and I found a new scent. It's vanilla fig, and oh my goodness, it smells so heavenly. I love anything vanilla, and mixed with the fig, it's perfect. It's just perfect. So what I do is once a week when I change my sheets, I will spray my shears, and that scent will stay on there, and it just gives such a nice cozy feeling to my room. I do this in my vehicle too. I have a separate scent that I will spray on the seats, and it's just so nice. So I also found one of these new flower pots at the Dollar Tree, and I grabbed some Oasis, and I'm going to cut it to size and just pop it in the bottom of this tin. So I just put some Spanish moss on top of that Oasis to cover it up, and I had grabbed 7 of these lilac stems from the Dollar Tree. So with 2 of the stems, I cut the flowers away from the main stem at the bottom. And then with the other 5, I just took the tag off and pushed them down in the center of the pot, pushed them down into that Oasis, and I didn't put them right on top of each other, but I did put them closer to the center. And then once I got all 5 of those in there, I'm just gonna pull them apart a little bit and kind of shape them how I want them. And I'm gonna pull the greenery down closer to the base. Not every single one of them I didn't do that with, but most of them. And then with the 2 stems that I cut, basically made the flowers individual, I'm gonna go ahead and poke those in around the edges, and this way they're just a little bit lower than the ones in the middle, and it gives it a little bit more of a graduated shape on the sides, a little bit more like it would grow naturally. And of course I pulled the greenery down closer to the base. And yeah, once I get all of my flowers in there and arranged how I wanted, then the last thing I'm going to do is kind of fluff up that Spanish moss a little bit and pull it up so you can see it poking around the edges a little bit more. And that's it. That's all I'm going to do this. Okay, so even though this was so simple, it's just a very simple thing, I absolutely love it. It's my favorite. I just put it on my table. It's very farmhouse and natural feeling, very simple, and I love that. So next I grabbed 2 of the Do All Things with Love coasters and 2 black and white ones. And I'm just gonna glue those together and create a box. So I'm gluing them to where the, what's it called? It's like a cork on the back side of it, to where the cork is lined up. So when you're gluing these together, you want to make sure that it's creating an actual square. So, and also because one side has words, or actually 2 sides are going to have words, I want the words facing in the same direction. So I needed to make sure that I was doing that before I glued it down. And like I said, I'm gluing it on the edge and not on the cork. I'm lining up the cork, if that makes sense. So once I get them glued into a square, then I'm going to go back over everything on the inside, and I'm just going to put a really thick layer of glue on all 4 sides on the inside. So basically I have to put glue on one side and then flip it over and then glue the other side. That way it's just really secure and glued very well together. So what I'm going to use this for is basically a container to hold a square vase that I got at the Dollar Tree. And I just have fresh flowers in my guest bath, and I feel like this is the perfect thing to put my vase in. You could also put a potted plant in here or anything really. I think it's beautiful. Very farmhouse looking to me, and I'm totally into that look this year. So next I am going to make my own cloche. So I love them. I don't know about you, but basically everything that I'm going to use here I got at the Dollar Tree except for the vase. So the really big vase I got at Walmart on clearance for $1, and they had a bunch of them. I don't know about your Walmart, but mine had quite a few, and I just used one of these sugar glass containers from the Dollar Tree, and I took the lid off of it and glued the lid on the bottom of the vase. And yeah, the little lavender plants I got from the Dollar Tree, they are from last year. However, I've seen them out this year. So if your Dollar Tree had leftovers from last year, then they'll put them out. So I just used some Spanish moss and added just a couple of the tiny Easter eggs, the glittery ones in there. So you could put anything in there. I am just so into it. It just matches my other cloches so well, and I love it. So I'm also going to switch out all my candles to spring scents and all of my room sprays to spring scents. So I've brought out a few Easter or spring things and set them around. I'm not going to bring out all of my stuff yet, and I want to be able to bring it out a little bit at a time. So this wreath is very spring looking to me, and I'm going to put it inside my house. It is off my kitchen, and I actually got this at a garage sale. I love it. So I've also added little hints of spring in my china cabinet, and this is actually one of my favorite places to decorate for the season. So I've added flowers and little hints of spring, like I said, the moss in the cup with the little bird. I got the little bird at Michael's, I think, and yeah, they're just so cute. Normally I'm gonna have white dishes in my china cabinet, but I've brought out one of my favorite tea sets, and it's got pink roses on it with the plates, and I think of course it matches white. Anything matches white, so it just gave me an excuse to bring a little bit of color in there. And what I have on top of my china cabinet is a couple of cake plates and a white box with some faux greenery in it. And in my cake plates, I've got faux fruit. I just felt like that really matched the season right now. So the last thing I did today was change out my doormats, and I found these at the Dollar Tree, and I absolutely love them. This is a good lesson. This is why you should always go down every aisle. These had been there, and I had just not seen them because I had not gone down that aisle. So anyway, I hope you guys got some ideas, and I want to thank you for spending the afternoon with me and letting me show you what I do to start off spring. So you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye.